Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. I start as always in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I send salutation upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We are gathered here today to celebrate the day of Eid al-Fitr, a day on which we all wear our new clothes, our new colognes, our new shoes, new hijabs, new thobes and abayas, and refreshed $100 haircuts. A day on which we tend to forget the true purpose behind celebration. In Islam, we have 2 Eids every single year. And subhanAllah, the beauty is that each of them honors sacrifice. Eid al-Fitr honors the sacrifices that we make during the holy month of Ramadan. The sleepless nights, the long hours of fasting, sacrificing your time in ibadah, sacrificing your sin to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not to mention how much ibadah we have done these last 10 days in anticipation of Laylatul Qadr. And Eid falls immediately after, honoring the sacrifices that you made throughout this month. Similarly, Eid al-Adha is a day on which we celebrate the sacrifice of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam. A day that we celebrate the sacrifices that we made during those 10 blessed days of Dhul-Hijjah, especially on the day of Arafah. But when you boil it down to its core, you realize that Eid is much different to these non-Muslim holidays. The Prophet ﷺ was reported saying, Ya Aba Bakr, inna li kulla qawmin Eidan wa hadha Eiduna. That, O Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, indeed there is an Eid for every nation, and this is our Eid. Because our celebration only comes in honor to the sacrifices that we make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The sacrifices that we make in the path of achieving goodness, in achieving a higher level of iman and tawheed. And subhanAllah, we need to ask ourselves whether or not that sacrifice meant anything. What is the point of us fasting this entire month if we aren't going to carry over the good habits that we gained and the bad habits that we lost this month throughout the entire year? And subhanAllah, the amazing thing is, we think that these sacrifices that we make twice a year is sufficient. Now, most of us here have a cell phone. When you use your cell phone throughout the entire day, by the end of the day, you run out of charge. And what do you do when you run out of charge? At the end of the day, you put your cell phone on charge, right? You charge the battery. Now, I want you to ask yourself, is it sufficient for you to charge your iman once a year during the month of Ramadan and expect it to last until the next one? Or perhaps until the 10 blessed days of Dhul Hijjah? Of course not. Your iman is something that needs to be charged regularly in order for you to maintain it throughout the year, not just once or twice. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gifted us with the gift of salah. Throughout the day, you are charging your iman 5 times every day. He gave us the blessed day of Jumu'ah, which, similar to Eid, is a celebration of the sacrifices that you made throughout the week. The sacrifices of time and energy that you spent praying salah and doing dhikr. Just as it wouldn't make sense for us to celebrate Eid if we made no sacrifice in the month of Ramadan beforehand. It makes no sense for us to celebrate the day of Jumu'ah if we don't sacrifice something throughout the week. My dear brothers and sisters, this past month, the masjid has been packed to the brim. But come tomorrow, it'll be empty once again. If you were able to sacrifice your time for Taraweeh in the masjid every single day throughout this month, then you can sacrifice 15 minutes of your day to pray salah in the masjid. That is why you must carry this habit on past the month of Ramadan onto the next one. Because fasting is proof that you can stop bad habits. Suhoor is proof that you can wake up for Salatul Fajr. Islam isn't hard. You just haven't realized your potential yet. It is as one of the great scholars said, Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah said, the real test of a believer is not how much they worship during the special occasions, but how they maintain their connection to Allah Azza wa Jal after that special occasion passes. Their connection with Allah after it passes. This is the true essence of Eid. It's easy to be consistent in Ramadan when the environment is pushing you forward. But Eid reminds us that the journey doesn't end. It continues. And how you carry yourself after Ramadan reveals whether or not your worship was truly sincere. You need to keep your iman charged throughout the day, throughout the week, and throughout the year. So that when next Ramadan rolls around, you aren't stuck in the cycle of restarting your journey towards increasing iman from the start. Keeping these habits will make it so that next Ramadan you already have a baseline to build off of. And inshallah, your iman will be higher than ever. But my dear brothers and sisters, while today we are dressed in our finest clothes, enjoying food, hugs, laughter, and celebration, my dear brothers and sisters, do you not feel the weight of what's happening to our ummah? How can our hearts be at ease when our brothers and sisters in Palestine don't even know if they'll survive to see tomorrow? When they celebrate Eid without their homes, without food, without their loved ones, how can we claim to honor sacrifice on this day when the people of Gaza have made sacrifices far greater than anything we've ever known? Children who've never known a day of peace. Mothers who have to bury their children. Fathers who pray that their families are spared. We wear new clothes while they wrap themselves in dust. We gather with our families when theirs have been torn apart. We taste sweets while they taste fear. And yet, their iman remains unshaken. And their takbirah still echo in the rubble. If anything, this Eid should remind us of the responsibility that we have towards them, of the du'as that we should be making, the awareness that we should be raising, and the support that we should be giving, and the example that we should be taking from their strength. Their sacrifice should fuel our own, and their resilience should inspire ours. Lastly, my brothers and sisters, remember the true purpose behind Eid. Eid is not like these other holidays and these other religions and cultures. It's not about the clothes. It's not about the food. And it's not about the presents. Eid is about honoring the sacrifices that you made. It's about celebrating the achievements that you made during Ramadan to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So don't let that celebration go to waste. Continue to indulge in the new habits that you made this Ramadan. Praying in the masjid, reading the Quran, attending lectures, whatever it may have been. Don't leave them behind in Ramadan and go back to your old ways of sin. The great scholar Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, one of the greatest signs of a successful Ramadan is that it leaves permanent traces on a person's life. So if you truly want to honor this Eid, let it be with the proof that Ramadan has changed you. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows us to carry on these habits that we built in this Ramadan until the next one. Ameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He grants us ease in drawing closer to His deen. Ameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts our Ramadan, that He accepts our fast, our ibadah, and our prayers. Ameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant sustenance to our brothers and sisters who are suffering all around the world, especially in Palestine and Yemen and in Sudan, and all our brothers and sisters who are suffering all around the world. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك سبحانك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك وإنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تسمعون تقبل الله منا ومنكم وعيد مبارك